If you've clicked on this video, it's probably because you want to learn to be a shredder. But before you can start ripping on the mountain, you've got to get the basics in. You've got to get the fundamental building blocks down. In this video, I've got you covered. We're going to go over carves, spins, jumps, flips, twists, all the rest of it in detail. We're going to go over the movement system and get the fundamentals locked in, dialed in, and get you ripping in no time. If you haven't tried this game and you're clicking on this video because you're part of my community already, it's available for free on Xbox and PC Game Pass. It's also on Steam. It's available Series X and S. So it's not wasting any more time, and let's get into it. So before we get into any gameplay, I just want to really quickly go over the controls. This will help things make a lot more sense. I've put control in the bottom left, and you should be able to see the highlighted buttons I'm pressing as I press them, so I can connect the dots a little bit. You've got to think about snowboarding in this game as two sources of movement. You've got body movement and you've got board movement. Body movement, things like carving, where you're shifting your center of gravity, you're shifting your weight over your center of gravity, and that's done with the left stick. The right stick you can think of as your board movement, so that's doing speed checks or stops. This will also do pre-winds of your body before getting into a spin, but we'll go over that as we do spins in a moment. Also think of when you're doing a grab, you've got your nose and your tail. You use up and down as kind of nose being up and down being your tail. So when you're performing a grab or you want a desired grab, in combination with the left and right buttons, you can do those grabs on either your front, which would be up, and your nose, or your tail behind with down on the stick. So hopefully that makes sense. We will jump into the other buttons as we get into the tutorial, but I just wanted to lay that out first. So here we are at the top of the mountain. We're moving our left stick here. This will rock us from side to side, getting us into a nice S-carve. This will rock us from our heel to our toe. And then right stick, you can pull down to the bottom left corner or bottom right corner for stops or speed checks on your heel or your toe side. It's worth saying now that the B button will reset you to your last spawn point, so that's taking us back up to the top of the mountain, and then X will take us to our reshred, which is basically just like a kind of, it's a do-over. You know, if it'll take you a few meters back, so you can have another go at that. Right, let's jump into the park and get into some jumps. So here we are dropping into the park. To do jumps, you want to hold down the right trigger and release right at the lip of the jump, and again. Nice and easy. So next part that's worth pointing out here is that the left trigger will spot your landing. So this is preparing you for a landing. So next thing we're going to have a look at is spins. So there's two types of spins. We can spin using our left stick, which are body movements. So that's our small rotations. That's slow 180s and slow 360s. And then there's spins using the right stick, which we will want to pre-wind to get maximum rotation. So we'll jump into one now. They are done in combination with the right trigger. So you still want to do our normal jump, but we want to use the left stick first, and we'll do some slow 180s. Here we go. So release. Nice slow 180. And same again. And then if you do that a little bit sooner, you might be able to get a full 360 round. Clearly need a bit more practice on that. There we go. So these, as I say, it's more body movement. You'll need the left stick more when you get into corks, but we'll get into that in another video. So the next type of spin we want to look at is pre-winding the spin. So that's using our right stick. We still got to do combination with jump, but let's have a look at that now. So if we want to do a front side rotation, we hold it to the left before the spin, and as we release our jump, we want to flick the other direction on our left stick. So if you have a look in the bottom left, you'll see what my controller's doing. We'll do a couple more of those. Again, if I want to go the other way, I'll wind up the other way, and as I release my jump, I can flick back the other direction. It's really essential that you release your trigger at the same time that you flick, and then you hold your stick down the way you want to spin for as long as you want to spin it. The next type of jump is a combination of the two. So you want to flick, but then you can also get your body round with your left stick. Again, if you focus on the controller on the left of the screen, you'll see what I'm doing there. So next fundamental trick we need to learn are grabs. They are done using the bumper buttons, so left and right bumpers on Xbox controller or R1 and R2 on PlayStation controller. They're done in combination with the right stick, so the right stick is your key to this, and you can think of the right stick as down for nose and up for tail, as I was saying earlier. So you want to still do this in combination with a jump, and you want to release and use your right button and up, spotting that landing, and right button and down. So again, check out the controller on the left. Various different grabs we can do. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll do a couple. As you can imagine, that's left and right on the right stick, or up to a diagonal. You can also do left button and right button. There's many you can learn. So let me know in the comments what your favourite grab is to do, what your favourite snowboarding trick is. That's in real life and in shredders. So before we get onto the rails, I think it's important that we get the flips down. The flips are similar to spins in the way that you need to wind them up, and we'll have a look at those now. So you want to use your left stick for a front flip. You want to hold down and then flick it up, spotting that landing. And for a back flip, you want to start by winding the stick up forward and then flicking it down. Cool, sloppy. And then using the left trigger to spot that landing. Try out a couple more of those, and you can see the controls on the left. We release as we flick. So you can obviously do these in combination with grabs and spins as well. And yeah, you just want to get them down on their own first. So before we get into rails, I've got to say they've definitely got a little bit of work to do on rails. It can be quite tricky lining up on a rail, so don't be too hard on yourself. I'd go with a board slide. It's probably got the best kind of widest surface area to learn first, but you want to then get that nailed, and then we can look at doing tricks in and out of rails. So let's have a look at this rail over here. Again, you just want to jump, and then you can use the left trigger to kind of lock into that rail. I found it helps a lot. We reshred these. You want to use your body rotation for getting onto these and not over spinning the chute. When you get that locked down, you can start doing things a bit more complicated, like spinning onto and spinning off as well. And that pretty much wraps up all the basics of all the tricks. What you want to do is start getting really comfortable with all of these, and then getting into the park, doing all the missions, unlocking all the new areas, all the parks, get these nailed down, and then start chaining them together, start combinations of sort of flips and spins, or grabs and flips, and then flips onto and off rails, and just have a good time with it really. If this video was helpful for you, please do consider subscribing. It means a lot. We're growing this channel, and we're working on a sick shredders edit right now. I'm really into realistic game snowboarding edits, so you wait for a nice street and park edit coming from me soon. So I definitely want to make a more advanced tutorial on some of the more advanced tricks, especially things like corks. So let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. I'm streaming this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so hopefully subscribe and get involved in the live chat. Good vibes only, and yeah, thanks for watching and peace out.